Hello. Hello and welcome to the Sunday live stream. My name is Igor and this is the next session on this channel where we build and maintain open source and free-to-use applications. Here we focus on Vibe engineering and Vibe coding, and I would like to share the story of it with you. I have over a decade of professional experience in the software development, and I've built many different apps across my career, mainly backend but also frontend and mobile apps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have a question, please use chat and feel free to ask or leave a comment down below. Let's go. So our last session we finished with finalizing the status of the agents on the sidebar. Today I would like to continue with the sidebar and the task with making the sidebar collapsible. That's not an option at the moment. And we are talking about the sidebar in the Shikigami application. This is what you can see now. So Shikigami is the agentic IDE with an option to switch between agentic codings mode, where you can manage multiple sessions with your multiple agent sessions, or you can switch to the editor tab, where if you prefer more classic approach, where you want to code by yourself, you can do it as well. And the other project that we also worked on last time is the Whois OOO, who is out of office. This is the open source, free to use, self-hosted PHP project where small and medium businesses can manage leave absences. And in Whois OOO, we worked on the calendar subscription customization. There was a feature request, and my friend would like to have an option to. He asked me if we can add an option to, in the exported, I call calendars to decide what I want to see, if this is either only me or my colleagues within my team, or public holidays that are applicable to me or to my friends. So okay, we have an implementation plan. That's what we finished on. That's where we finished on last time. So now let's run the sub agent mode and start working on the implementation. Because the plan pass post architecture review. This is good. Then the implementation plan is ready. Okay, please start working on the calendar subscription customization. Please use sub-agent approach. Instruct each agent to follow test-driven development. After each task, call for the code review. And then at the end, the final code review, two reviews, one from Symfony Feature Builder and the other one from the architecture, to verify if the new feature and newest changes follow the architecture that is within the code base. Okay, and the collapsible sidebar, this looks good as well, so let's run it. Please start implementing with sub-agent driven approach. I want you to do code review after each step, and please instruct agents to follow test-driven development approach. Once everything is ready, please run 2 reviews, architecture review and TypeScript code review. Regarding the code editor, yesterday I've noticed a bug. So it looks like this files tree is not being refreshed, and this is not good, because whenever there is a new file here, or something is deleted, then you still see the old state. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna add another agent. Code editor tree. And I'm gonna ask that specific agent to prepare an implementation plan, to add this missing mechanism. And by the way, there are 2 ways to use skills in Claude. You can do it explicitly by starting with / and then writing plans in this case, or Claude itself is smart enough to match your request. If you're not explicit, then it's going to match your request to skill from the skill set that is available for a certain session. I want you to write a plan to implement the file tree refresh mechanism. Now, whenever I delete a file or add a new file, not through Shikigami, then the file tree still keeps the old state this is incorrect. It may be that we don't have that feature, so please verify. If not, analyze the code base and prepare an implementation plan. Please include the rich technical context in the plan. Okay, so it looks like the file tree agent found the reason why we can still see the old state. Yeah, let's give him some time to finalize findings and preparing a plan. What you can do is with Claude, you can queue messages so you don't have to interrupt the current work in order to tell it what it should do next. So we can already, with the code for the tree file agent, we can already queue a message. Next one. When the plan is ready, please run two sub-agents. One should focus on the TypeScript code side of it, and the second one should verify if the proposed architecture is valid and follows best practices. Okay, so for those who are new, we are currently working on two projects. One is Shikigami, this is Agentic IDE and the code editor. The other one is Who is Out of Office. This is an open source, free self-hosted leave planner for small and medium businesses. So the sidebar agent is in the middle of the implementation, and the files tree agent is writing a plan. Yeah, just finished writing a plan. It says it's gonna run two sub agents in parallel. One of them gonna verify if the TypeScript code is following best practices, and then the second one will check and validate the architecture against best practices. We are a small community. I try to build it from scratch. We have the Discord channel. Let me share the invitation link with you. Feel free to join. There is a space when you can share your experience. There is a space where you can share what are you currently working on. We are friendly and respectful, so don't be afraid. If you're new to agentic coding, it's a good place to start. If you already have plenty of experience, then maybe we're gonna learn something from you. And in the meantime, brief information for those who are new and don't know where to start. I recommend Claude as a starting option if you have no experience with agents and you are still considering which one should I choose. Well, then this is the one that I'm using and I'm pretty happy about the results. It works in your terminal as well as there is a desktop app, but I recommend going for terminal version. And for sure, if you installed it before, like 2 or 3 months ago, then there was a different option with some package managers. I recommend doing native installation, and this is also what Anthropic recommends today. It makes difference, especially if you use Mac. because thanks to the native installation, you receive automatic updates, and you don't have to take care of that. I also prefer the terminal version because it gives you more freedom to switch between context. You can open another tab if you want in another terminal session, until of course Shikigami is publicly available. And then it's much easier when you use your terminal. It's much easier to clear context or manage context in general. One tip: if you start working on a certain thing and then you decide to maybe extend the task a little bit, then please consider if this task is related to the things or a thing that you worked before, because if not, then both of these things are in so-called agent memory. This is the context. And once it gets polluted with some messages that are not much related to what you started working on, then it's easy to get unpredictable results, because the agent will start hallucinating or walking away from the original topic that you worked on. And regarding pricing, for most of you, I guess, the Pro version will be a good starting point. This is $17 per month. Okay, so 17 is when there is an annual subscription, so 20 if billed monthly. And this is also what I started from. Okay, so the file tree agent finished working on the plan, finished its work, done the review. Okay, but there's one more thing I would like to ask, and it's crucial. Could you please verify performance of suggested implementation? I think it makes sense to also verify how other projects are using refresh mechanism. Maybe you can research on Visual Studio Code, because I believe this is the quite good example. What I like about Claude is that its abilities are quite quite wide. So it can not only interact with your code that you have locally, that you work on, but also can do researches on demand, like in this case, web search. Important thing is that its knowledge is not up to date every day. I mean, there is a cut point. So the model was trained until certain date, certain point in time. And after that, everything that is new to languages, programming languages, or if there is something new in framework that you like to use, it is of course ignored. And there are different ways to manage the situations. One of them is that you point the agent to the documentation, to the newest version of the documentation, and then ask it, okay, please go there and verify if the plan is correct, if your assumptions are correct. And the model that I am using the most is Opus 4.7 with 1 million contexts, but of course it doesn't mean that you have that much space. And it also doesn't mean that I put as much into context as possible. That's not the case. I still believe keeping your context compact and relevant is very important to maximize the output. And what I like about superpowers, especially the sub-agent driven execution option, is that it's able to choose different model for less complex task, which is great because then you can save on your tokens and your session time. This is the fixed window, of course, but you can do more within the same time. Please leave like and subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to join our Discord channel. I'm gonna add the link to the description later. Now you should see it in the chat. So it looks like the OOO agent is in the middle. Of the tasks list, which is great. Code review on task 7. Done. So it's gonna analyze now the output. Okay, task 7 approved. It's gonna implement now the test-driven development in the test-driven development way, query handler. So for those who aren't as experienced in software development, test-driven development means that I start my implementation by first writing tests for my use cases. They're gonna fail at the beginning, and then I'm moving from tests to writing code, the logic, the implementation that gonna handle either request or whatever it is. And the good side of it is that we have requirements for the behavior that we're gonna implement. So this is like a check. Once I know that the check is green, tests are green, it means my implementation is correct. So I'm not writing tests that fit my implementation. I'm writing implementation that is then confirmed by green tests. It's like flipping the order. So natural order for most people that started their journey with software development is that I'm writing implementation first, and then maybe I'm gonna prepare tests. And the TDD enforces you to first write tests and expectations, and then according to these expectations I'm working on my implementation. And of course the idea of it is to have less error-prone code and implementation. And we have the research result on the Visual Studio Code file tree refresh mechanism. Let's take a look. As you can see on the right side, I'm gonna bring it to foreground. No, okay, I'm gonna keep it split. Okay, so there are 3 green check marks and 2 warnings, so it means it's good that we did the research on Visual Studio Code implementation, because there are 2 gaps. So as you can see, even if you describe what you want to have, what kind of feature you want to have, it may not be enough for agents to prepare a comprehensive implementation plan. I'm gonna choose the option number 2, add Visual Studio Code style hardening task. Yes, please. We are slowly approaching the final stage of the collapsible sidebar implementation. 2 more tasks. And then we're gonna test it manually. And maybe to not waste time while we are waiting, let's add a third agent. And this one should improve the workspace tabs, because now you can add an icon, you can set a color, change name, but you cannot move them horizontally to left and right. So let's start a new agent. With the high effort Opus. We're gonna ask it to write a plan. Please prepare a plan for a feature that will allow users to move workspace tabs horizontally from left to right. The behavior is that I click on a space top bar and then drag and drop it either to left or the right side. Please prepare a plan with rich context, rich technical context, useful for the next agent. And also please run code review and architectural review. On the plan, of course. Important thing to know is that whenever you start an agent session, it reads CloudMD on the start. So all the information that you include in CloudMD file gonna be used by that agent as a knowledge, but then this file cannot be too big. That's the important thing, because it is loaded into context, so it is taking space. And in this case, and in any other cases, if it makes sense, of course, I'm asking it to include technical context. Why? It's because I don't want next agents to rediscover the code base. So the agent that is taking care of writing a plan should explore the code base well enough to include important places or important files relevant to a certain feature in the implementation plan. So then the next agent that will take care of implementation will already receive a list of files that it should look at to create or write a code that should be less buggy and should better match your expectations and the architecture that you have within your application. But I recommend to experimenting with that. Because it may not be true every time. That's the other thing that is also important when you interact with agents, is that it's not deterministic. So you can write to the same prompts, run them in parallel, and the output may be slightly different. Even though you run them on the same model, on the same code base, at the same time. Another useful tip: whenever you run sub-agent-driven development with superpowers, please keep in mind that by default, each agent after each task is going to commit changes. And this isn't something I want every time I run them, especially for the OOO project who is out of office, because I would like to review them manually, and once everything is being committed after each task, then it's harder to me to move around. If you want them to stop doing this, just tell them. It looks like I uncovered another bug. So whenever you bring a certain session into the foreground, then you cannot scroll. When you go to the split view, then each of them is scrollable. I'm gonna add it to the list. The files tree agent is asking if it should re-review after analyzing the Visual Studio Code implementation. Yeah, I think it should. Please re-review, but don't execute right away after you finished. Why is it good to run code reviews? Well, you can see it now. The workspace tabs horizontal movement option. The initial plan wasn't that great, and after 2 reviews, independent reviews, there was at least one bug, and the test helper name mismatches. Okay, it's not that relevant, but okay, the design is okay. So it looks like the code review. Okay, so the architecture was fine, but the code review was necessary in this case, which is good. Yeah, great that we ran that. And there is a summary, 9 tasks, not that much. Okay, so since the workspace tab movement plan is ready, let's start implementing this. I want you to run sub-agent-driven development. Please instruct each agent to follow test-driven development. And then once all is done, please run the final review. And now it's the time to manually test the sidebar or not. Let me verify. The branch is ready. Okay, let me verify it. Okay, I don't see it. Maybe it's not merged yet. Okay, please merge it to the local main. And let me know if we are on the main branch. Okay, I forgot there is information what branch current session is on. Please check out to main and merge the branch that you worked on. It doesn't matter what else there is. Okay, now we can verify. Okay, so there is a button. Okay, and yeah, that's how it looks when you collapse. And that's the full size. Well, I don't like it. I don't like that there is a button not at the very bottom, but whenever it's open, it's on the top of the space, and then when you collapse, it's at the bottom. But we're gonna fix that. We are slowly approaching the end of this session, so I'm not gonna proceed with the sidebar. What I will do is to pause for now here, then files tree as well. This is the nice feature in Shikigami. It doesn't matter on how many sessions you worked. You can always make pause, resume later, tomorrow, whenever you want. Because the session ID is stored within the state of a workspace. As you can see, having sub agents doesn't mean that it's gonna be faster, especially if you run code review after each task. Maybe that's not necessary on every task, but the thing is that I prefer to have more predictable and stable result over speed of the implementation, and this is also something I recommend to everyone, to not be in a rush, but to ship, build, and deliver things that are actually working. And that is my philosophy as well. And a friendly reminder to those who joined recently. So we are working on 2 projects. First one is Shikigami. This is the application that you can see that you are looking on now. So this is the agentic IDE. It allows you to run multiple sessions. For now, it supports Claude Code, but it doesn't mean that that's not gonna change in the future, of course. And there is an option to switch into the editor tab where you can manually modify the code that you are working on, review changes. But this is still under development. I want to make it more like Visual Studio Code Editor with syntax highlighting and other useful features like usage, functions usage, class usage, all that is important for everyday work. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps a lot, especially at the beginning. And the channel is new, I am new here as well. I will be grateful for any comments, likes, and suggestions. What would you like to see more during sessions? And because we are reaching the end of this stream, I'm gonna ask it to stop at the next possible step. Please stop the execution at the first possible step. The stream is long already, and as well the current session. We are running out of tokens for the current session, as you can see, 91%. Yeah, that's the good result. We pushed a few things forward, which is nice. I like it. please stop the execution after the code review. Okay, I'm gonna let them finish. So this is all for today. Thank you for joining. We're gonna see each other again, maybe next week at some point. As I mentioned during the last session, I have a regular work 9 to 5 job, so I cannot do it every day. I cannot stream every day. But anyway, I would like to invite you. Please join our Discord server. Please leave like and subscribe. It helps. And again, leave the comment in the comments section. I will read them and reply. That's it for today. Thank you.